Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. Woo!
Is it Friday?
I believe it's Friday, and I don't know why I'm even cheering because it doesn't even really matter. It's like one big lost weekend anyway. Hi, everybody. It's Friday, April 3rd. April 3rd.
The third.
It's a Knockem Dead comedy radio show coming at you live from govsradio.com at Governor's Comedy Club, the legendary Governor's Comedy Club here in Levittown, New York, the home of so many great comedians, where so many great comedians got their start. Hello, Tom Galati. Hello, Carol Miner. Hello, all you fellow knockers out there watching the Knockem Dead comedy radio show. You just saw the Teespring commercial where, whoa, look at that. There's somebody in the building.
It's a person.
Holy moly. Now what?
I don't know.
Do we have to like hightail it out of here?
Well, he sprays the world for,
so he's keeping us
germ
safe.
sprayer. He's the bug killer germ sprayer
So
of
he's
governors.
So he's our hero.
So he's probably, plus he has all these plastic gloves on. I think we're okay.
All right. And he was on the other side. We have all the doors closed.
It's just nice to see a face in person that
I know.
haven't seen.
I was happy, but also it kind of scared me at the same time.
At first we're like, not the bug guy. Now we're like, it's a bug guy.
Wow.
Bob's watching.
So anyway, hello, Bobby Inns. Bobby Inns of Limo Talk with Graz. They were on last night. Hope you enjoyed it. So anyway, yeah, we were just watching. You guys just saw the Teespring.com commercial. You can get your Goes Radio swag, like these mugs here. While none of you are home and nobody's working, make sure you buy your Goes Radio stuff.
To show to no one.
Right.
Just that you have it will make you happy and make this time go better.
Everybody's tuning in. Suzanne Roman Fascino is watching. Suzanne, we were just playing your boys, Thomas and Paulie. We were just playing some music of theirs before our show started. If you're ever on govsradio.com, on the listen, the audio only tab, sometimes we play something. We like for maybe 10, 15 minutes for our show, we'll play music or we'll play a comedian. We played Jackie the Joke Man a lot.
Did we play Andy Plagianos yesterday?
We did. Yeah, we played Andy Plagianos yesterday, who's watching too. Jeff Bosey's watching. Ken Pichelle. Rain Ryan. I wanted to mention Rain Ryan yesterday. I saw her name pop up yesterday too. Rain, if you'd like to, we'd love to talk to Ed. Ed Ryan, he was a guest on Jam a few weeks ago, but if he ever wants to FaceTime, and we'll get him on the screen here, maybe play a song and have a laugh. Ed Ryan, he's been on the local scene for what seems like forever. I want to say since the late 80s, I think, or early 90s. Mostly,
he's a singer.
He's a singer, but he was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe when he first kind of started going out and performing, he was mostly doing stand-up.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
First time I ever saw him was stand-up at the brokerage, as a matter of fact.
It makes sense. He's so comfortable on the stage that it makes sense that it's not, his first rodeo. Right? He's really enjoyable to watch and listen to. Yeah, if he ever wants to, even like after all this big mess, if he wants to come in on the show, kind of hang.
Well, yeah,
and talk.
we were working on that. Ed and I had some
really?
Conversations about it, but then Joe.
The plague hit.
Well, no. Joe invited him to be on Jam,
Oh.
which. He should be on there first.
Yeah, because he's music.
So I backed off and said, I don't want to step on Joe DeJesus' toes because the prosthetic will break his toes. So I said, I'll step back because that's the kind of guy I am. Anything for Joe DeJesus.
You just forgot about it, didn't you?
No.
I'm kidding.
Joe Murphy's watching. Greg DiFilippo. Derek Muterspaw. Good morning, everybody.
It's Friday.
And I just got the breaking news that somebody at the News 12 Long Island studios has tested positive, so they shut down the News 12 Long Island studios.
Well, I thought everyone was doing it from their own house anyway. Were they doing actual news coverage?
Yeah, like our buddy Stone Grissom, who was on the show once or twice. He was still in the studio.
So now what? So now you go on 12 News, and what do you say?
Well, now they're broadcasting they're doing the Long Island news from their New Jersey studio.
Oh, all right. That makes sense. Well, New Jersey must be pretty pissed because they're already sick to death that we're so close to them and we're going to get them sick.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they're going over there to now infect everybody. I think
so
they're already.
So the people here are just off work.
Well, a lot of times you'll see they actually, you don't know. Some segments are actually
You
filmed
don't know.
You don't know, Sally.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
A thing or two about News,
News
12,
12.
that you've stalked for ages.
Because I'm the News 12 insider expert
are. You're
guy.
actually really into News 12.
I do. I do.
you're
I
into
love
it.
local news. But yet sometimes some segments are actually coming from New Jersey, and I think they have. Is it Westchester? I think they have another studio. So sometimes you'll see. I'm telling you what I know, and you're not even listening to
I know.
me.
I got another notice from that Patty Mayo person.
We've been getting here at our shows. We've been getting notifications from Facebook saying that we've been playing something. We don't know if it's music or videos or what that is owned by Patty Mayo. We have no idea if that's a company, a person. We have no idea what that is.
What are you wearing? Yeah, it's this thing already. It's this show.
It's today's show?
Yeah, because that's us.
What have we
done?
We played the Ficino brothers.
Yeah.
Sue, does Patty Mayo own the Ficino
Do you
family?
think Patty Mayo is like pretending she owns all this stuff and is like
But
complaining?
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Patty Mayo is a person, a company. I don't even know what Patty Mayo is.
Like she's squatting all over the place saying that she owns the land.
So let's dispute it. So we don't know what that is, but we've been getting it a lot, and it's just our show.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing.
So maybe we have a stalker who's trying to claim ownership.
Patty Mayo, just FaceTime with us and we'll clear it up.
Hello, Carla Okerson. Hello, Gina Conjemi Coffin. Hello, Jackie Sherman Guido. Valentina loves News 12. Next week, Knockem dead Zoom. Well, yeah, right. Now that we have people in the building, we have the exterminator. But he's making us safe. He's exterminating all things Corona.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he does, a lot of other things. So he's not probably like, out and about with.
What is it?
The only time I ever see him is here, and he gets in his car. I think he lives in his car.
What is it? What do you? He doesn't look like he does anything else.
He's just
How
on the
should he
side of the building, waiting for the next time he's to spray.
Patty Mayo is a YouTuber. He pretends to be a cop. Drew Scott is my favorite, says Valentina. Valentina, Drew Scott has retired almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, but we actually had him in the studio. I interviewed him because his poor granddaughter died of a heroin overdose.
Yeah, you and Eric were here with him one day. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's from Massapequa, and that's Massapequa on Long Island. It's like the nicest town to live in, and I was shocked to find out that it has the highest heroin teenage usage in all of Long Island. I was like, I thought someone was pulling my leg. I'm like, no way. So
Pulling your leg?
Amputee jokes. So I was interested to speak with him. He's a really nice man, very informative.
And a very sad story.
Yeah.
And speaking of sad stories, and I won't stay on it much. I don't want to do too much negative, but I saw
you're
Vinny.
You're going to bring us down further, aren't you?
I am. I see Vinny DeAngelis is watching. Hello, Vinny. Hope you're well.
Please don't tell me there's something sad about Vinny. I love him.
No, but it just made me remember. It reminded me because Vinny and I graduated high school together, and I just wanted to mention condolences. Somebody that we graduated with passed away yesterday from Corona. His name was Adam Barthmere. He was a classmate of ours. So condolences to his friends and family. Very sad news to hear about it. It's so funny. Remember a few weeks ago when this was first hitting, everybody was posting on Facebook. Does anybody actually know somebody with this? And everybody was posting no.
You held out for a while. I was waiting for you to catch up. You were a little like, this is too overboard. Everyone, and I'm like, I was just saying to myself, give you Tony Walker another week and a half, and you're gonna be like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were holding.
No. I was. I'm still a little. I mean, I get the whole stay inside, and we're doing our part. I mean, we're coming in here only because there's nobody else in here, and we're infecting each other already. But we've been doing our part, and it's I get it, but it's there's definitely media hype. Oh my goodness, what is she saying?
Tony's mommy said, "Do you have a show today?" The only thing that's airing is yesterday's show. So he's going to help her out.
Unless she's watching. Is she watching us right now thinking it's yesterday?
No, because Thursday you wear red.
And we're definitely on because people are commenting.
Yep.
We are on, Mother. You're just stupid.
See, that's the thing about not being able to be around people. Like, she can't hit you for 6 weeks easy, right? You
But
get
yeah,
everything.
but she's Italian, and Italians don't forget, and they just hit normally. So they just assume that they have something to hit you over. So as soon as
you
she,
have 6 weeks to like.
true story, true story, and this is going back years ago. My mother called me up for something, and I was wising off to her over the phone, and she said, "Next time I see you, I'm going to smack you." It was a good 7 to 10 days. And she came over the house. I opened the door. Bam!
Right in the head.
Bam! That post made me so angry. Says,
Think about her. She waited all that time to hit you. Like, what about her needs?
Right.
You're so selfish.
Isn't he a dirty exterminator? Limo Zoom probably still smells like feet. Yes, it does. It just lingers in here. Hello, Felix. Yeah, Sue says that post made her angry. What is she talking about?
What post?
The Patty Mayo? Danielle Asher's watching. Hello, Danielle. All right, I have one more complaint, and then we can move on to some bigger and better things. But I have a complaint with...
I just hope it's not me.
no, it's not you. God.
Oh, okay.
God. And now, well, who controls the weather? Is it Al Roker? Is it God? Mother Nature? Whoever controls the weather. It's not bad enough with the way things are. Everybody's staying in their house. Everybody's cooped up. Everybody's miserable. Everybody's scared. Everybody's anxious. Can we at least get some nice spring weather so we can, enjoy the outside?
I thought you were gonna complain about the whole now we're all worried to death about getting this virus, and now we have to deal with pollen and wondering whether we was that sneeze? What is that sneeze? Pollen or death?
Hello, Jessica. Hello, Joan. Well, no, but that is kind of the weird thing with spring. Like me, I have horrible allergies, and it is weird. I do have them a little, they're starting to kick in, and I know they're allergies. It feels like allergies. Well, that's the thing, because now you sneeze and you're like, you think that because, I must have it because I just sneezed. So then, in your head, you're like, what do I do? You're tempted to run into the bedroom and lock the doors and quarantine yourself and keep away. But, yeah, it's allergies. I know it's allergies. And I'm
Do you?
Well, let's find out. Achoo! The one about people saying they didn't know anyone with corona. Well, okay, that's what made you angry.
Just
but
people having it. But people had to catch up. Some people,
And I personally do feel it in the beginning, there was definitely a lot of hype. I mean,
no, it wasn't. That's the point.
It wasn't. So everybody running for toilet paper and lining up around at the gun store.
Those are different choices that weird people made, but there was no hype about this virus and what it could do and how it could infect. One person is easily giving it to 2.2 people per their own virus. That wasn't hype at all. People just made weird decisions. Yeah.
The weather control machine is in Schenectady.
Ugh.
Andy, can you go there for us? Can you go take care of that?
I used to live near Schenectady.
Where haven't you lived? All right, so those are my complaints. I'm sorry, go ahead.
A fun music thing in Schenectady. They do a lot of cool outside concerts during the summer. The thing about Schenectady, it's so freaking cold up there during the summer.
That's right. That's why it doesn't work. You live on Long Island. You were raised on Long Island, and now you're here again. There's a lot of cool outdoor concerts on Long Island, too.
Oh, I know. I'm so worried that we're not going to have those.
We
this
better.
Summer. It's my favorite part about Long Island.
Andrew Cuomo said yesterday, it looks like the apex will come down in May.
Who said that?
What?
Who said that?
Andrew Cuomo.
He did? Oh, in May. I thought you were
What?
going to say is coming down now. I'm no, that's not true.
No, yeah, he said it's coming. He showed the graph, and it said the apex is April and May, and then he said towards the end of May it's going to start coming down. But it wasn't. I mean, and it's still kind of. Then he showed. I think it went through June and July, and it showed that it's still kind of lingering, but definitely out. So I'd like to think. I'm hoping that even first week of May things will slowly start reopening. but
The
but
other,
I
Go ahead,
think
sorry.
sorry I do think I'm hoping but I do think that's a stretch at the beginning of May, but I'm hoping that June is more of a reality, that things will start getting back, reopening and getting. You don't even think June?
See, the thing about like the curve, like the bell curve, like certainly like the coming off the curve goes quicker than the build up to the curve.
Right.
But what it means is like it's if like let's say 250 people at the peak are getting the virus at the peak in New York, and then it is still 240 people are getting it the next day, and 230 people like the next day. So it is still, and it drops quicker than building, but it still is, the fact that the peak, if the peak is like a week away, it'll be a lot better than, but they're saying it could be 3 weeks. Who knows?
I'm not even sure if you answered my question.
It means that if the peak is 3 weeks, then no, we're not going to see happiness and back to normal anything in June. No.
Yeah, it would, because he said the apex would start to come down in May.
Yeah, but it took from like the beginning of March, people were getting it. So March, April,
right,
May, it took to get to the peak. So coming off the peak, it's going to be a little quicker, but not.
Yeah, but
not in a week.
Well, what he showed it coming down in May and kind of leveling off June and July.
Okay.
So you're saying that you think they're going to wait till this leveling off actually goes down completely?
I think it's going to be a little while until we get all back to normal. And
all right. So but if things start to level off in June, the whole point of this was talking about the outdoor concerts.
Yeah.
And getting governors back open.
Yeah.
You don't think that'll happen? You don't think at least they can start planning June, like for the end of June, early July, for things to start happening?
Man, I hope so. I hope so. Like I know like you're scheduled to go on stage the beginning of May. I don't know about that.
Yeah, May 3rd and May 6th. I'm
haven't
supposed to be
wanted
here
to-
at Governors. I don't think
I
that's
haven't wanted to bring
that's
that up,
happening.
but
I don't think so. Where near Schenectady were you? Ken Pichelle was in Troy.
oh yeah, Troy. Yeah, well, I went to SUNY Albany for a couple of years, so I lived and I lived off campus in Albany, and then years later, then I lived in a whole bunch of other places for a while, and then years later, I lived in Saratoga Springs for a few years.
So Ken Pichelle is saying that the town you live in is called Apex. You live in a town called Apex. Why is our high school mascot not the Apex Predators? It's the Cougars, so that's kind of close. I don't think we'll start seeing normalcy until November or December, says Greg DiFilippo. Wow, man. All right, well, normalcy, yeah, but if we can start maybe towards the end of May or beginning of June, at least start getting things open like an outdoor event, because an outdoor event would hopefully be safer. And slowly getting, just we start to see things coming back. Maybe completely back to normal November, December, but if we can at least start to get if we can at least start getting back to normalcy in June, like maybe some people going back to work, and in September, kids going back to school, that would definitely ease people's minds. That's, I think, a big part of this whole thing for everybody. The fear and the anxiety is the fact that we just don't know. We don't know, when this is going to get back. So if we're starting it, that's going to ease everybody. And then the government can give us all, each household, $1 million.
That'd be cool.
Because that would be cheaper than bailing out businesses. So if every household.
Why are you doing this?
I don't know. I was mocking Brian Festa.
I know, but
But I still like the principle behind it, giving us all money so we can spend it and get the economy flowing again. I'd rather see that than businesses getting money, because bailouts. That last bailout, when was that? Like 10 years ago? We didn't see any of that.
Nope.
Nobody felt
Not a dollar.
that. Give it to us, damn it. Damn it.
And plus, like, not like I mean, the virus. I don't think we understand the virus completely quite yet because there's still like at first they were saying the virus was just droplets. You know, like when you sneeze and someone could inhale part of the droplet in the air, and that's how you would get it. And now they're kind of going back and forth whether it's just mere airborne, where you don't need the sneeze or the cough or the touch. You know, you could just breathe, and that'll put things off like a little bit. I don't know.
Margie Bassett says the pools I hear won't even open. That's bad. You would think the chlorine would kill it. Kill any germs, any corona germs you're spreading in that water. Damn it. Will Wagner, probably don't want a high school mascot named Predator, although it's a cooler name. That's a good point. Will Wagner, who's been in here singing with Joe DeJesus, who also was part of the comedy class. So Will, hope you get your ass back on that stage.
Yeah, did he go
soon.
up?
No, the one show that we did, he wasn't there.
So there wasn't a show at in Bohemia or something the same night or before?
Nope. There was only the one comedy class graduation show. The one that I performed at. And I was the very last person to perform at the brokerage.
I mean, it is kind of like I was worried because I was kind of worried for 2 weeks after your show. Like how many people got the virus because they were all sitting in close proximity. But, 2 weeks went by and no one got anything.
Not a single person in that room.
No.
That we know.
Yeah, that we know. And we had probably a lot of the people were friends of ours. No one said, oh, I got sick.
Jeff Bosey was there. He didn't get it. Rich Rader was there. He didn't get it. Andrew Plagianos was there. He didn't get it.
Yeah.
Eric and Danielle Shevlin were there. They didn't get it. Danielle Asher was there. She didn't get it. Don Sill was there. He didn't get it. You were there. You didn't get it.
Nope.
Kevin Darby was there. He didn't get it. Linda Bartolomeo was there. She didn't get it. Cindy O'Neill Romanello, she was there. She didn't get it.
Right. So maybe it isn't.
Bonnie
airborne.
Scalisi didn't get it. Her boyfriend, Michael Steven Spielberg, was there. He didn't get it. Frank Fiala and his wife, they didn't get it. MJ's parents were there. They didn't get it. Bobby
Yeah, I was
Donahue and
worried
his
about
wife
them.
were there. They didn't get it.
Nick's parents. Did you say that?
No, Matt and Andrea Sedoci were there. They didn't get it.
You didn't get it.
I was there. I didn't get it. John Truson was there. He didn't get it.
I felt good about that.
Are the phones open? They are now, Gina. The phones are open now. We have a call to make in a few minutes. We're going to be calling Brian McKenna, comedian Brian McKenna, hilarious comedian. He's been touring with Jim Brewer for a while now. He's Jim Brewer's opening act. He's got a new album out, which I believe is called "The Fight Is Over." I believe is the name of the album. Hang on, I have it here. The fight is never over. Oh, that's what it's called. How apropos is that right now?
Yeah.
Maybe-
And also,
he
how
knew.
else do you know him?
How else do I know Brian McKenna?
Yeah.
Carol Miner is our mutual friend.
And how else? He hangs with Neil.
He hangs with Neil. He hangs with Neil Rubenstein. I threaten to do comedy around the whole world. I threaten to do comedy in the whole world cold and sick, says Will. Well, right, that's kind of what happened. I feel that things, the comedy world was such in dire straits that they even threw me on a stage, and they were like, and that just kind of sickened the whole world, and that was it.
No, Will, Tony went on. He was in Belmore, the Belmore property. He was the last one on. So he's like, yeah, the place got closed down the second he went on stage.
Joe Murphy's Pool will be open in May. Everybody's invited. Greg DiFilippo thinks that the teachers should get more money right now, and I do agree. No, Tom Glotty, John Butera was not there. John Butera coming down, feeling better after catching the corona. We wish him well. John Butera is a comedian here on the island and in the city. Great guy, so we wish him well. But last I heard, he's on the mend and feeling good. So happy to hear that. Butera was not there. There you go. All right, there we go.
You're live on the Knockem Comedy Radio Show. Who's this? Oh my God, I've been missing you guys. I miss you, Tony Walker and Sandy O'Neill.
Some sheet. How are you? Are you feeling okay?
I am okay. But I'm not doing okay financially. I can no longer drive my car around, and I even went to Homestead, and I went to Mr. Anthony Canate to try to get some limo work, and he said, tell me to go F myself. I don't know what's wrong with that man.
Well, he's racist, so you shouldn't ask him for work. You shouldn't ask him for anything.
Well, he can eat some bitch.
He can eat what? Some bitch?
He could be eating some bitch. That's what he could be eating.
Wow. Well, those are some
Because
strong words.
I needed to get some work. I am not working, and I'm applying for unemployment. No good. I am applying for the $1,200 check. Nothing's going on. I'm very concerned.
Well, don't you run a 7-Eleven?
No, that is my brother. What are you doing?
Oh, that's
my
your brother. Well, your own brother can't give you work because they're open, even though they're closing they're limiting their hours.
No, because he's taken too many applications from a DJ D-Love.
Well, last I heard, did DJ D-Love get the job? I don't even know if he has.
I don't know.
Well,
Listen,
go ahead.
I am just calling to make sure. I want to let you know that I am okay. I am very okay. My family is okay. I'm glad to know that you are okay. I love looking at Mr. Tony Walker and Sandy O'Neill. Very good people.
and right back at you, some sheet. And we hope you don't catch some sheet and that stupid coronavirus. And if you can't, what?
I am not liking it.
Yeah, we are not liking it either. But we're glad you're okay. And sorry you can't drive. I mean, do you have a Camel or something that you can get around in?
I'm not back home. What are you, crazy or something?
Yeah, I must be. I think the virus is getting to my
That
brain.
would be back home over there in Kupur. No, not here. Here I drive the car. You're very funny, Mr. Tony Walker.
Not really. That was a perfect example why the comedy world got sick after I was on stage. So
Listen, you guys, go ahead. Ask me questions.
So what are you doing? So where else are you looking for a job? Are you out looking for a job right now?
I am. I'm looking around. I'm picking up the want ads, and nobody is wanting me.
So
Nobody is hiring.
Your brother
Nobody
normally
is hiring.
Your brother normally runs a 7-Eleven. What do you normally do for a living?
I told you, I drive the car. I pick up passengers. I drive the
Oh,
cab.
that was it. Yes, I did. Right. Well, wait a minute though. I'm confused. That you taxi drivers are considered essential, aren't you?
But my problem is, not many people are wanting to get into the cab. Not many people want to get the pickup. They're very afraid.
Yeah, that must be tough when people don't want to get the pickup. Wow.
And I didn't top it off. The car wasn't smelling so good either. But I mean, that's not the reason either. You got to try to make some money, and it's very hard. So I'm trying to look. Nobody's hiring. Nobody is buying anything. Nobody is even buying my bullshit.
I'm buying your bullshit because I do believe you're a very smart man, and I need you to confirm a rumor for me.
Go ahead.
We hear a rumor that curry kills the corona. Can you confirm that curry kills the corona?
No, but it can definitely clear out the room.
Well, that's true. So it helps with social distancing. So it does.
Absolutely.
So it does.
Absolutely.
It does help with the corona then. All right.
It definitely helps them with preventing social distancing. Yes, the curry definitely clears out the room.
Very nice. I appreciate you confirming that. So maybe you should just take this as a sign, because things will get back to normal. Maybe you should just go home and enjoy the family during this time and just not worry.
Right.
Consider this a break.
Enjoy the break.
There's always option A, stay with family. I choose option B. I got to get out and make the money. Listen, I got to get out right now. I got to try to look for work. So right now, I want to say thank you very much for keeping on our radio station and keeping us entertained. It's very good. And I love you very much, Mr. Tony Walker and Sandy O'Neill. You guys have a great day, and I talk to you later.
Thank you, Samsheet, for calling in. Good luck with the job search, and check in again next week.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now. There you go. Samsheet, our friend Samsheet, calling in.
What time are you supposed to
him
call this
and
guy?
the Some Sheet family all the best. Oh, look at that. Yeah. All right. So let's see if I can figure this out. All right. So I'm going to mirror the screen because I want to FaceTime.
You don't want to get rid of your stuff first?
Get rid of my stuff.
I always try to get rid of my,
I don't know what you mean.
like Facebook's up and.
I don't have any of that. See, you should, I just get rid of it when I'm done.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's what, any smart person.
No one does that.
Plenty of people do that.
No one finishes, I'm off Facebook. I'm going to scroll up and get rid of this. No one does that.
I do that all the time. I guarantee most people do.
He's the tidiest person I've ever known.
All right, let's see if I can get this right. See, all right, so they can't really, can they really see the screen yet? Maybe should we just lower the...
It doesn't come up.
It does come up. It's right there. So I'm going to punch it all in, and it's going to be seen.
Oh, right. I see what you mean. All right. I'll
Can we-
put it on a different screen while you do it. How's that?
Okay, yeah, that'll be good. All right.
All right. Hold on for a second, guys.
All right, bear with us, because
All
I
right,
just
go
want to
ahead.
call this number. Let's see.
Yeah, hold on. So he's just trying to dial kind of FaceTime so we could have...
All right, hang on. Yes. Oh. All right, sorry. Whoever just called, call again in a little while, because we're trying to get through right now to Brian McKenna. All right, so now you can put it on there.
All right.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
There he is. Hang on 2 seconds. Hang on. Are you hearing it?
All right. Yeah,
I am.
yeah.
I'm
You are.
totally hearing
Okay.
it. Yeah, it's definitely working. Hey, how are you?
Hello, Brian McKenna. How are you,
Hey.
sir?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. Look at him. We were talking yesterday about how we were going to do this, and he said he wanted to FaceTime so that he had a reason to clean up. So you cleaned up well, my
Yeah.
friend. You cleaned up well.
I haven't looked like this in about 3 weeks. So.
Yeah, I know. Our kids are I was like, oh my goodness, you have to change your clothes.
All right. So first and foremost, how are you? Everybody's feeling good on your end? Everybody's doing all right?
Yeah, everyone's doing all right. Everyone's doing okay on my end. My family's good. My sister's a nurse up in Westchester Medical Center, so she fills me in, but she's feeling good. She's goes to work every day.
Oh, so all right. Well, hats off to her. She's a hero for taking care of everybody. Very nice.
Don't tell her that. She already has a big ego. I don't need her getting any.
It's all right.
I don't need her getting any more.
Very nice. All right. So we've been telling everybody that you're coming on today. We've been telling everybody that you must be some kind of psychic because the name of your new album is "The Fight Is Never Over."
The fight is never over. That is for damn sure.
So you're like a medium or a soothsayer or some shit, something like that.
No, I'm not. I'm far from a medium. We already have one Long Island medium, and she's full of shit enough, so I don't need to.
We actually went to high school with her.
Yeah. So yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're gonna be nice.
Oh,
You
I
can
won't
say whatever
be,
you
so
want.
Yeah, we
could
can't.
because I will. I have a funny story about her actually.
Oh,
if you guys want to hear it, I mean,
Yes,
we might
we'd
as
love to
well.
hear it.
I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but this is what happened. One day, I was at a bagel store. Right, I was in Bagel Boss in Hicksville, and I'm she's three people in front of me. Okay, so and
Oh.
I just lost him.
Hang on.
Hold on.
It shows that I still have the signal.
Yeah.
What, did we lose?
No.
Hang on, everybody. Sorry about that. Hang on.
Yeah, we just lost the FaceTiming signal.
Oh, are you kidding me? Now I can't get the signal back? Brian, bear with us a second, Brian.
yeah.
Man. All right.
You want to call me back?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to call you back, but unfortunately, I think we're just going to do regular audio because, I don't know what happened here. We just lost the signal. But yeah, give me a minute. I'll call you back.
All right.
Thanks. Sorry about that. Sorry, everybody. I don't know. Yeah, we just lost our signal. All right, so we'll just call him and do audio. Damn it. That sucks. All right, so let me call him back. That sucked. Sorry about that, everybody.
Hello?
You there?
Yeah, you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we hear you fine.
We hear you fine.
Our apologies. I don't know how we lost it, but we did. We lost we lost the
all good.
FaceTime. All right, so you were telling us,
You're in Bagel Boss.
yeah, about.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bagel boss, and now look, like I said, if you believe in psychics, that's a personal thing. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. I personally don't believe in psychics or mediums or anything like that. That's just me. Okay?
All right.
So I watch her show, and I get nauseous almost every time I watch it. So when I saw her in the bagel store, she was a couple people in front of me, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm seething. I'm like, I want to say something, but I don't know how to say something. I want to say something, but I don't know how to get to it, you know. And so she walks up and she orders a bagel at the counter. She orders like a whole wheat bagel, and the guy behind the counter says, "Oh, we're out of that." And then I said from behind her, "Shouldn't you have known that already?"
Oh boy!
And she turned around and looked at me like I was the goddamn devil. And she didn't say anything, but her hair got higher as she got angrier. So her hair got about another 2-3 feet higher, and then she took her bagels and stormed out. And I thought it was the funniest thing that I've ever done personally. But yeah, she wasn't too happy with me, the Long Island medium. But you win some, you lose some.
That's great.
Not everyone's gonna find you funny. I'm okay with that.
So let's not. So we won't tell that it was you. Everybody watching and listening, don't tell anybody that was.
Yeah,
Brian.
don't tell her it was me.
Okay, so the new album is out. It's available everywhere you can stream. Is there a physical version somewhere or CD?
There was supposed to be a physical version. There isn't yet because of whatever's going on. But when this hopefully all ends and we all make it out of it, there should be physical copies as well. But
very nice.
at the moment, there's not. Yeah, it's just iTunes, and I think you can still stream it on Pandora.
Okay.
And I know it's going out on Sirius soon. I'm just waiting for the day. I don't know what day yet. That's the only.
Yeah, it's exciting though. That's very cool.
So and it says now the album says Jim Brewer presents. So did he produce this? Did he back it somehow?
Yeah. So I've been opening for Jim for a couple of years now, and it was actually his suggestion. He said, we should put out a little something to get you out on Sirius and iTunes and all that stuff, and I said, okay, cool. And then, Jim's manager called me and said, Jim would actually like to put his name on it, Jim Brewer Presents. And I said, that's okay with me. I'm sure.
That's really nice of him. Yeah. And,
he didn't have to do that.
I haven't met him, but I was producing a podcast that Jessica Curson did where she interviewed him over the phone not too long ago. Mm-hmm. And I just like sat here and like you get to hear like all the behind the scenes stuff as they're talking. And such a nice guy, I just really
he's
I
a
really
family guy. It. Yeah, he's about as nice and normal and down to earth as you can get, which is very hard to find in a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
He's not on. There is no weirdness. He's just a normal Long Island guy,
right?
And which is probably why him and I get along, because him and I are very similar in that regard.
It's been fun to like travel around doing this with like someone. Who's like a nice normal guy.
It's hard sometimes to travel with him because he's so funny all the time without trying to be funny.
Yeah.
He'll just start imitating the waiter, and we're in tears. You know what I mean? And you're like, how did you, like, he's that level of funny.
Yeah.
So it can be difficult at times because he is so funny, but, it is what it is.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Like, sometimes you're just like, I'm getting, like, entertained for it. And that's how I kind of feel like hanging around governors, because, I'm not. Funny. And so it's like, it's kind of nice, like the people that like walk through the hallways. I feel like, give them $5 every now and then just to be like, thanks for entertaining me for free.
Thanks a lot.
Because they can't help it. They just can't help being so funny on a different level, So
yeah, it's true.
And one other thing that I was kind of interested with, I was like, kind of like looking you up today. I didn't realize you were really good friends with Neil Rubenstein.
Oh yeah. I've known Neil. Oh my God, I've known Neil. I don't know how well you guys know him, but I've known Neil since I was 16 years old, I met him in an illegal poker club
I bet.
on Long Island when I was 16 years old. So I've known him before comedy, before everything.
And is he older or younger than you, or same age?
He's older than me. He's got to be about 10. I don't know the exact. I'm 32, so he's got to be at least 40. So he's at least 8 years older than me, I would think.
I just recently,
how do you know him?
I just recently met him. I was
okay.
engineering a show. I don't know, several months ago. We were doing comedians on hockey, I think, with Steve Belanja. And I think he was one of the guests on that show, and that's the first time that I ever saw him or knew him. And then I would see him kind of walk the hallways of Governors, doing stand-up every now and then. I'm like, you spend like an hour and a half with someone inside a studio. You remember them, and you like wave, like, hey,
course,
how are you? And then he came on a couple of other shows, and he's the kind of guy that you could actually say, oh yeah, we had a guest cancel today, and now we don't have but we'll find something to talk about if anyone wants to stop by. Like 7 minutes later, Neil walks in.
And
just
exactly.
like saves the day, And and he's just so like normal and just
he's a
down to
normal
earth.
dude. Yeah.
And he's
I mean, if you guys should have him on and have him talk to you about all the poker. Neil was involved with poker. I mean, that's how I met him. So we have stories like from that time and that era that is so, in that era, I say like it's 30 years ago. It was like 10 years ago. But there's like a lot of crazy things that went on that you wouldn't, like I got robbed at gunpoint.
What?
One time.
Yeah,
two guys
he's had a different life. He's definitely had
Neil's,
a different life. Like, you could say something that only happens in a movie. He's like, well, when I came across that.
Yeah, literally. Like, I was robbed at gunpoint when I was 21 years old.
A large body in your trunk. Well, you know what worked for me, Sal?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like crazy stuff like that. You're like, oh my God, what? Like,
is this gun story something you're allowed to share?
I mean, I'll tell you the story. I don't. It's not necessarily funny. It might be interesting, but it's not. There's nothing really funny happened that night. You know what I mean? Like, so I was just playing poker in an illegal club. Actually, not far from the governor's comedy club. It was in Bethpage where I was playing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that area, but there's a bar called BK Sweeney's, right? So in that shopping center,
you know what that is?
at the so it's on a corner. I don't know what street it's on offhand, but it's on whatever shopping mall is on there. So it's like a little shopping center. BK Sweeney's on one end. On the other end, it's something else now, but there was a poker club. It was a small poker club that was run by this guy. I'm not going to say his name, but there's a guy who used to run it. And I went there, and there was a $10,000 guaranteed tournament that night for first place. $10,000 is guaranteed. And I went there with a few of my friends. We went there and played. And midway through the tournament, there was a regular knock at the door. And the big bouncer went over, opened the door, got hit in the face with a shotgun.
Wow.
He falls down. Now, I'm looking at the door as it's happening, but it's one of those things that's happening. It feels like it's in slow motion, but it's like, wait a minute, who's coming in? So the bouncer falls down. Two guys with insane clown posse masks on come
You're
in.
like 16
right?
years old.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, I think I was 19 when this happened. So, yeah, I was like 19, I think. But here's the thing, like, it could have been the Insane Clown Posse. I don't know. I have no idea. Those masks, they all look like, those guys are crazy. So I'm like, yeah, it could have been them. I don't know. They come in, they have shotguns, they line up everybody up against the wall. They rob the place.
Wow.
And then by the time, like, honestly, it probably happened, I'd say it was a minute tops. They were in and out, they had the money, they were gone. All of a sudden we turned around and they were just gone. And
wow.
it was just so scary being 19 and being like, what just happened? Like, the guys really just robbed this place? The owner had run out the back door, leaving all of us inside. So we were all like, hey, thanks a lot, dick. Like, you fuck.
I would have taken anything that was left. I would have robbed whatever was left over and left the place.
Well, he probably deals with it every 6 months. He already had a contingency plan to, like, run out the back.
Yeah, he ran right out he didn't care. He ran right out the back door.
Not his first rodeo.
Not his first rodeo.
And Neil has a background in music, so maybe it really was the Insane Clown Posse looking for Neil.
It might have been.
Yeah.
It's a good possibility. And then those guys, so then here's the wild part. was that I was so scared to leave that I ended up staying and finishing out the tournament. and then I ended up
like the responsible young gambler you are.
Yeah, I was so responsible, but I ended up winning the tournament. Which
well,
is
of course, there's nobody left.
Yeah, everybody else left, so I ended up winning the thing. And this is how I know the guy who owned the place had nothing to do with it, was that he actually paid us out the money over the time. So he didn't pay us immediately. He said, if you guys can come back weekly and just pick up money, I'll make sure that you guys get it. And to be fair, he did do that. So as much of a piece of crap this guy was, he did the right thing and ended up paying us out. So
yeah, he just wanted to stay alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it ended up being crazy. Yeah, but that's that happened right not far from the comedy club. And I remember telling my father about it the next morning. I said, Dad, I got robbed at gunpoint last night. And he said, yeah, that stuff's been going on for a long time. It's no,
not
it's
like
no surprise.
He goes, for you.
Yeah, he was like, there's no surprise that.
He didn't say, who is this Rubenstein guy and stay away from him?
No. He was like, yeah, he goes, if you keep playing in those places, then you're bound to get robbed. So I was like, oh, yeah, good point. All right.
It's like saying, I went to McDonald's and they put cheese on my burger by mistake. Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. And he was kind of like, my dad was so old school, he was like, all right, stop crying about it. Just move on.
Just a bullet.
Yeah, it was so crazy. Thinking back about it, I was just like, oh, man, 19 years old getting robbed at gunpoint. It was just too much. And that was kind of one of the last times I think I ever played. Played illegally, I should say. Played illegally. That's what I.
So and then I guess an experience like that just bonded you and Neil, and you guys just became close friends.
Yeah. Well, no. Here's the thing. Neil wasn't even there that night. Neil wasn't there, but I called Neil right after that because I was kind of like, "Hey, this place got robbed," and he was like, "Yeah, I heard through the grapevine." And then, actually, I think about 6 months or a year later, another illegal place got robbed, and 5 guys had come in with guns.
Oh, wow.
And everyone was wearing a mask except for one guy. And I remember I had a friend there, and I remember him telling me, he said, yeah, there was one guy who didn't have a mask on. And I remember thinking, yeah, that's probably the guy you want to be afraid of, because that guy doesn't care if you see his face. So he's going to kill you. So I remember, Neil and I have had a lot of talks about guys getting robbed and, the whole thing. Yeah, so it goes back a long time, man. It's crazy to think about. I was 16 when I met him.
Oh,
guy's fully tattooed. He's got tattoos on his neck, big beard. Yeah. He hasn't changed. No. He hasn't changed.
Well, he's so funny and so nice, though.
Oh yeah, he couldn't be any sweeter. Yeah, he is. I'll tell you, this is why Neil is so great. The best thing to do with Neil is to actually go traveling with him. If you go on the railroad or if you go on the subway or something like that, because he looks so scary that nobody wants to sit next to him. So he's been getting socially distanced for the last 20 years, without even realizing it. No one ever, and he goes, it was so great because we sat on the subway, nobody sat near us because they're all afraid. They see him and they're like, oh, I'll go on the other side. But it's he couldn't be any nicer.
Right.
Which is so great. But yeah, that's the best thing to do with Neil, I think.
Right. So with the album title, "The Fight Is Never Over," you knew that there was a fight that needed to be fought, and Neil was social distancing. So you guys had it all figured out. I gotta hang around with you guys. You guys have all the answers.
Yeah. Well, the title of the album is actually in reference to my fiance and I, where when it's a bit that I do. I say the fight is never over with her, because it's not, because she brings up a fight that happened 9 years ago. When it was something that I didn't realize was a fight, and then she'll bring it up. She goes, "Remember that time?" And I'm like, "Oh God, here we go."
And this is your fiance, you said.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
And that's going on when you haven't even actually tied the knot yet. So.
Correct.
Yeah, so it sounds like you got quite a time ahead of you.
Yeah.
All the best.
It's great to be quarantined together.
It always gets better. After a while, you're just too old to even care about fighting anymore. You're like,
honestly, we don't. It's so funny. I told her during when the quarantine started a couple weeks ago. What I realized about 2 days in, I went, "Oh, I actually like her. I don't just love her. I actually like it's weird. Like you don't think about it. Like I obviously I love her, but I'm like, you think about it, I'm like, oh no, I like her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I like hanging out with her. She's hilarious. So I'm like, oh, this is what's so great. I go, yeah, like, quarantine is not fun, but I go, if you got to do it, at least be with somebody you like.
Yeah, if you're stuck with someone.
It's good to know that she's so she's still alive and doing well.
She's
then.
great.
She hasn't been killed by you. Yeah, that's nice.
I got a question. How are you guys? You guys aren't social distancing in the studio right now, are you? You guys
we are
speak
not.
with each other, or
We're the only ones that are.
We're together, and the fight is never over on our end here too. So
okay,
so we figure we're infecting each other at home, so we may as well come in. There's,
all right.
I mean, this building. We're here at Governor's in Levittown. The whole building is shut down, so we're the only ones coming in here. So we figured may as well just keep doing the show. 4 days a week, and
makes sense.
Why not, right? So so we
look.
don't have
Honestly, we need the content now. It's just there's nothing else to do.
Right. That's not to get all cliche and corny, but we do feel like we want to. We feel like this is our doing our little part right here. Trying to entertain, which is why we need guests like you to make it funny. We're not
come
funny.
in and tell stories or something.
Right. Talk about getting in trouble with Neil Room.
Well, it's so funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Andy Plagano said he was like speaking for Neil. I heard through the grapevine as Neil's counting your money, like he's the one who stole, robbed you.
Yeah. That bastard definitely stole from me.
So I know another comedian that I'm assuming you're tight with is Mike Calcagno, because I saw that we were watching some of your videos and stuff. The call 911 video, by the way, you and Neil, was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago. Yeah.
But then now, getting back to Brewer a little bit, there's this video of Brewer being in therapy where you're the therapist, and Calcagno has a quick cameo, and I saw in the credits that he co-wrote this thing with you. So I have a couple of questions with this. First of all, again, and Mike is a super guy, super
so
funny,
nice.
such a talented guy.
We've had him on the show before.
It must have been a blast making that video. If I'm playing your part, I mean, they would have had to edit and cut and so much, because I'd be laughing my ass off at Brewer.
Yeah, it was. I come up with the idea when obviously we were allowed to be around people and stuff about 2 years ago, and Calcagno helped me write it. We got it together. Jim loved the idea. It was difficult to stay with a straight face as Brewer's screaming about the mess.
Right. Yeah.
I think I only broke. There was 2 times that I broke. And they didn't have the camera on me, thank God. They had it on Jim, because there was one moment when he was screaming about Noah Syndergaard, who's a pitcher on the Mets, when he got foot, mouth, and foot disease. I thought my head was going to explode. I was laughing so hard.
And that's true too. I mean, and only on the Mets, man. Only on the Mets is this
only
stuff
on the Mets.
Yep.
Only on the Mets would that happen to their star pitcher, who's got to be out for 2 months now. Yeah, that was a great video to shoot. I had so much fun doing that, and I remember when it came out, I just remember being so proud that it ended up coming out the way that we kind of envisioned it. So I was happy that everyone was involved. And
That's great.
And Brewer's he's that easy. Like, you're able to go to him and say, "Hey, look, I have this idea," and he just that sounds great.
I had sent him a text and I said, "Hey, I have this idea. Being a Met fan, I said, I think it'll work." And I said, "I play a therapist." And then I told him the idea, and he went, "This is hilarious." And then I saw him, I think, the following weekend, and I said, "Would you actually be interested in shooting it?" And he said, "Yeah." And he actually came. Jim wanted to do it so much that he came on a day off. He lives in New Jersey. He came on a day off and drove to Long Island. And we know that traffic on any given day could be 9 hours. So he really took the time and came out. And so that's how he was very excited to do it. I was just happy. I was like, "Oh, he's excited to do it. Okay, I guess we're doing this."
That's cool.
He's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
You see people that they know what it was like when they were first starting out, and they always reach down and help, the people that they think they can help. And then other people don't. So it's like, and you could definitely see that from him.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the way he is. He looks out for everyone who's in his little circuit, and I'm proud and happy that I assume that I'm part of that circuit now. And
absolutely.
It's nice
if
to
he's
see
putting his name on your album, that's a great thing.
Yeah, he's always great. Like, anytime I call him with a question about, the comedy business, or, "Hey, I have this going on, can I talk?" He stops every time and says, "Yeah, absolutely, call me now." And we'll talk about whatever. So it's like, he couldn't be any greater to me. Like, I'll always be indebted to him for the rest of my life. So
Yeah, well, that's super,
you know.
and yeah, we have heard that, you know, through this, maybe the same grapevine as Neil. We've heard that Jim is just a super guy to work with.
He couldn't be any easier, and it's the best. You know, I'm very grateful.
And he takes you everywhere, right? You go all over the country with him, or no?
Yeah, we did. We just ended. Just before Christmas, beginning of December, we did 30 cities together.
Wow.
And then we had done the first leg. We had 3 more legs of this tour, of his tour, where I was opening for him. We did the first 10. I did the first 10 right as this was getting crazy.
Yeah. This
whole pandemic started. I was flying home from Florida. We had finished in Florida. We had just done 10 cities. We did like Atlanta and then a couple dates in Florida and Tennessee and all these kind of cities as it was getting crazy, and we flew home. And then they told me, because I was flying home, I had to stay in for 2 weeks. There, I had to be quarantined because I was traveling. So I stayed home for 2 weeks. And then actually the next leg of the tour was supposed to start today, but Jim has canceled everything up until, as far as I know, September.
Wow.
He canceled everything, because he's not sure when this is going to end, and he didn't want to put dates in the summertime, and then you have to remove them, and then it's a whole thing. So I believe he's moving on. I believe the next part of the tour is not going to be until at least the end of August, beginning of September. So, which stinks, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? You know? Right.
Yeah.
He's.
Terribly.
Yeah, he's more
frustrating,
concerned with keeping his family healthy, and and that's what it is.
Wow.
Which is crappy. Look, there's a lot of comedians who are. It's the way that it is right now.
Yeah,
we do.
We do that. Yeah, we talk about that constantly here, being that we're coming at you from governors, and we feel. I mean, and it's everybody. It was weird because clubs and store. They were. They very early on they said no more than 50 people. So a place like this closed up quickly. So at first, it was, hey, let's get some money to the musicians, let's get some money to the comedians, anybody that's doing live entertainment. But now it's everybody, or just about everybody. Yeah. So I'm hoping there's a big resurgence when it does open back up, because people are just going to be dying to get out. Hopefully they have some money to spend so that things can start flowing again, and guys like yourself can start making your living again, man. It's just insane.
It's weird, man. It's a weird time to be alive, but I look at it like, you know what? This is what my government's asking me to do, right? They're just telling me to stay home. That's all they're saying. They're saying just stay home. I go, my grandfather was sent to war.
Right.
And him and his friends were sent to war. Yeah, it's like if I would have, and I heard some people complain about, I have to be inside, and I'm like, my grandfather would have punched you in the face if that's all he had to do. That's all he ever wanted to do was stay inside. It's like, if you try to keep it in perspective, granted, it sucks. I get it. We're all stuck inside. There's only so many Netflix documentaries like Tiger King that you can watch before you're, losing your mind. But it's like, all they're asking you to do is stay home, and it's like, we're not being sent to war.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing it. Just stay home.
Just don't hurt
It's not difficult.
Stop hurting people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hurting. Just stay home. That's all you have to do. And it's like, I try to look at it from that perspective, where it's like, they're not sending me to war. They're not asking me to go shoot somebody. So I'm like, well, if this is the best I can do is stay home, then that's what I'll do,
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Good
that's
point. Are you good? Can we go just a few more minutes with you? Is that all right? Or you?
Yeah, whatever you guys. Hey, I have nothing to do today. So.
That's true. Where are you going? We got another hour with you. We got another hour with Brian McKenna.
That's the hardest part about this whole thing is like when you call somebody, I don't have anything to say that I have to do to get off the phone. So it's like, hey man, I have to go sit on the couch. I have to go sit on the couch for a little bit.
Well,
what?
That's the thing too. Yeah, you have to answer because the person calling is like, well, where else can they be? They got to be home.
Yeah.
How many fake showers can you pretend you're taking?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you don't
exactly.
And you're engaged. You guys don't have kids.
No kids.
Right,
thank God, because I feel bad for people who have kids right now. No, I'm like, dude, that's got to be up early.
Yeah.
Like they're screaming at you to go outside. You can't go outside. You're like, what? Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine that.
Yeah, but they're a good reason to get off the phone. Oh, sorry, Johnny just fell. I'll call you back.
That's true.
I mean,
that's not a bad idea.
You're just engaged. So let me teach you here. There's. Mm-hmm. Kids are good for excuses and child labor. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why we
I
have
have
them.
a dog, but he doesn't work as well. Hey, sorry, my dog just, is shit on the floor. I gotta go. Like, there's not.
Right.
You can't really.
You can only get away with that so many times too. Where
Yeah.
a kid is screaming for years, you can use that one forever. But
Exactly. Yeah.
wow.
Exactly.
So, all right, well, you guys have time, so get on that and you can
Yeah.
make some kids. All right,
Well,
so
well, don't relax with that.
I'm trying to get you laid while you're home. So
when my album is number one again, that's when I'll.
there
that's
you
when
go.
I'll have another.
Oh,
kid.
no,
Yeah.
did you hear that? He said number one again.
Oh, really?
It was number one for
That's
3 days.
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
3 days on
Congratulations.
iTunes.
That's really cool.
Brian
Thank
McKenna,
you.
number
Yeah.
one album. Where, on iTunes?
I know. It was on iTunes, yeah, for an entire weekend. The week Friday,
Wow.
27th, 28th,
Big
and
deal.
29th was all number one.
Good
yeah.
for you.
Wow,
Yeah, thank
that's
you.
impressive, man. Wow. So,
Again, I say it's all Jim Brewer because he tweeted it out and people were actually buying it. So I was like, okay, works for me.
well, thank you for remembering us little people, Mr. Number One.
Yeah,
album
of course,
star man.
of course.
So, all right, so how did all that happen with Brewer? Did you guys meet from? Is there a Long Island connection, or how did that happen?
Yeah, actually, Governor's Comedy Club was pretty intricate in that happening. So what happened was that he had called Governor's looking for an opener a couple years back.
No kidding.
And yeah, because I think his other opener was starting to move on a little bit and was starting to kind of do his own thing. So
Right.
he had called Governor's, which tells you immediately what type of guy Jim is that he called back the comedy club, one of the comedy clubs that he started in, to find somebody that could possibly open for him. I just think that is a great thing. You know what I mean? Because a lot of comics move on and they become famous and they never see him again. But I go, he's calling his old club going, yeah, call them and see if they got anyone.
Like James here, I mean, he really knows who should be, out there or not out there. He's really good at that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So about a couple of years ago, it was probably, man, I don't even know. It's at least 4 years ago. He had called, and this was actually there was another owner, Mark, who's no longer with the club.
Yes,
he was
yep.
there.
Right.
So I believe Jim's people had called him, and then they had put me in contact with him. And I remember I was doing an open mic up at Stand Up New York for 2 people, and I remember just going up there and talking and bombing, and nobody was listening, and it was just like, oh, God, why am I doing this? And then I got a phone call from the comedy club, and they were like, you want to open for Jim Brewer on Friday? I was like, yeah.
So
You want me to leave
great.
now? I'm like, where is it? I'm like, where do I go? So I ended up driving to Rhode Island, and I opened up for him there. And, him and I were pretty similar. We both watch baseball. We have a similar sense of humor, and we got along really well, after the show. And then I opened for him again, and I did really well. And then he had said, oh, look, there's going to be some more dates for you coming up. And I said, okay. And I kind of took that as like, well, maybe there'll be other. I kind of looked at it like, look, some people say things in the moment that they don't may not necessarily mean.
Right.
And I go, he might have just been being nice. And I remember driving home and remember thinking, well, if this is it for a while, then I can handle this. It was two great shows. And then I got an email from him on Monday saying how great of a job I did. And here are some more dates. And I did a whole Midwest run with him like a month after that. And he's been kind of using me ever since.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And how long has it been now?
4 years.
At least 4 years,
Wow.
yeah. I think
Good
I was
for
like
you,
4
man.
years in when I started, yeah.
That's
So, yeah.
wow. And see that?
Yeah, it was really crazy.
How great is Governors for hooking you up like that? This is the best.
I know,
place,
yeah.
man.
Thankfully, I'd worked the club for a little bit, so they knew me.
Right.
They trusted me enough. I took that. There was a lot of things that went on there that made me feel good. I took that very much to heart that they trusted me enough to recommend me to somebody like him.
Yeah.
Which is, that's in and of itself
That's
is a big
everything.
compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really touching, and I really appreciated it. And look, I've been forever grateful to them for making that happen. So
Who are some of your other? We were talking yesterday. John Ziegler is a good friend of ours, and
oh God, I feel bad for you.
Well, we were just talking, shooting the shit with him yesterday on the show, and he just by pure coincidence mentioned your name. Who are some? Have there been were the Long Island comedians? Were they helpful to you along the way? You know, or, you know, like when you were first starting out, you know, was it a good community?
Yeah. Well, when I first started, everyone was really nice, but it's a close-knit community comedy. As big as it is, everybody knows each other. So it was very difficult to feel to feel accepted. But yeah, everyone's nice. Yeah, everyone was really nice to me in the beginning. And I think once they know that you're going to take this serious and you actually want to be a comedian as opposed to just somebody who wants to do it because it's fun to do.
Right.
Once they know you're going to take it serious and they see that you're working hard and all that stuff, that's when more people accept you. And that's probably with everything in life.
Yeah,
is that
probably.
eventually when they see that you're taking it seriously, oh, okay, he gives a shit about this. He cares about, you know, being good, and he cares about showing up on time and doing the right thing, which sounds like, oh, everyone would do that. No, they don't.
No,
Nobody,
they don't.
No, they don't.
They really
they don't. Like, and not enough people do it in comedy, where you're like, you know, I know professional comedians who still show up late to shows. I'm like, what do you do? Like, what are you doing? Like, they show up late, their shirts untucked, they look like shit. I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing, man? Take it a little serious. Act as if you care.
Right.
A little bit, you know?
And you're not talking, you know, 5 minutes late either. We've seen it here at the
No.
club, you know, like an hour.
A half hour. Look, crap happens sometimes in
Sure.
life where, you know, you're trapped. I get it. But I go, if you're consistently late, I'm like, no, it's you, man.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
figure
right.
it out. Like,
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, people forget that stand-up comedy, as funny and great as it looks from the outside, it's still a job. So I go, would you show up late to a job every day
They
and
probably
drink beers
do.
on...
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
and
whole
it's like,
drinking thing.
It's like you're drinking, you're smoking weed. I'm like, oh, hey man, if that's your thing, good for you. But I go, it's still a job. You still have to show up and perform. You still got to be on time. I go, if you want to make money at this, you got to treat it like a business.
And
You
it
can't
doesn't
treat
make it better. Like I've seen like the comics, because we have a green room show in here, so like the comics will come in and, you know, in between their things, and I know exactly what you mean. Like some comics, I think they think they're better when they have a couple of drinks, but they're not, because they're slow. Like I could see them like in the hallway when the night first starts out, and they're all funny and bright-eyed, and you know, about an hour in, you're like, I don't think you realize that you're not as sharp.
Yeah, and it's look, it's a bad look, no matter how you swing it. I go, look, there's some guys that can pull it off. There's always exceptions to the rule. I know some guys who get drunk and go up, and they're the funniest people I've ever seen. Yeah, but I go, there's 1 out of 100 that can do that. So it's like, you know, I see these guys who just, you know, again, not taking it serious. I go, ultimately, it's going to hurt you before it hurts, you know, anyone else. So it's like, yeah, don't take it serious. Don't show up on time. Don't do the right thing. And you know, I go, see how far you get. I go, trust me, Kevin Hart showed up on time. Trust me. It's like he showed up on time. Like those guys who make it showed up on time. And it's like, you know, you can only be so immature for so long before it eventually catches up to you. So, you know, here's the thing. I take comedy so serious in the sense of you probably hear it in my voice. I get annoyed when I see somebody show up late on multiple occasions. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, figure it out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, figure it out. Whatever's going on at home, figure it out. Or don't do this. You know what I mean? Like, don't be like, hey, I'll be there in 10 minutes and show up a half hour late. It's like, well, don't call me and tell me 10 minutes if it's going to be a half hour.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like, stuff like that annoys me. And again, that's in life, you know. But that's just my crazy opinion and rant on it.
Well, right. So there you go. Everybody listening, don't piss off Brian McKenna.
No, it's true.
Yeah, don't piss me off.
It's actually
Just show
really
up on
good,
time.
insightful advice that not everyone, they'll just see you as someone not showing up, and then they won't ask you to come by anymore. But he's giving like
Exactly.
he's giving insight into how
it's like
don't screw up your life.
There was a comedy club that started booking me close to my house, and I'm in Park Slope, Brooklyn. So the comic club started booking me. The owner started booking me, and the show would start at 8:00. My set wasn't until 8:40. I would show up at 7:30.
Yep, I'm the same.
Because I go, well, because I go, just in case somebody else doesn't show up, I'm here.
Right.
Like, I'm here. And the owner started saying to me, he would go, why are you here so early? And I go, yeah, because first of all, it's a job. I'm supposed to be here.
That's it right there. It's part of the job. That's it.
Yeah, it's part of the job. I go, it's not a thing. I go, and then he started to, and there's been multiple times where I've shown up early, and then 3 other people didn't show up, and they were like, oh, hey man, you got to go up. And I go, yeah, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Right. And it's like, without knowing it, I put myself in a better position to succeed.
You know what I mean? By just count on you.
Yeah, because they could, oh, Brian will be here. Yeah, yeah. And I go, that goes for everyone who's ever in any job. I go, you should show up a half hour early. It shouldn't be,
And it's funny you mentioned Kevin Hart because, yeah, he did show up early. And this is a guy that hit the clubs. His story is very interesting how he got his name out there. I mean, he just basically traveling, very, short story here, but, condensing it down. He basically just traveled cross country, hitting any comedy club he can find, saying, I'm Kevin Hart, I do comedy, I'd like to perform here, and just getting himself out there. And, talk about taking it seriously. He really busted his ass, and that especially in this business, any type of show business, you have to make a difference like that. Yeah.
There's something that there's somebody who works at Governor's Comedy Club who taught me when I first started being booked there. His name is John Truson. Oh yeah. Something he taught me I don't know if you guys know John. Yeah.
Yep.
John said to me when I first started, when someone was talking about being an artist, and I said, well, I said everyone's, comics are all artists, and he looked right at me and he said, artists starve, businessmen don't. Treat it like a business. He goes, you're a one-person business. Think of it like that. And I went, oh, I never. And from that moment on, I always went, I go, you're a business. A comic is a business. What I do is a business.
Jackie,
so you should treat it like that.
Right. Jackie the Joke Man Martling is a friend of ours. He's been on the show with us here many times, and he said that to us once. He said, Howard Stern is not a comedian. He's a genius of a businessman. And same thing with Truson telling it to you. It had that it was that eye-opening moment. Oh yeah, he's freaking right about that.
Yeah, we had Chris Monty on here once, and he was saying how like early on in his career, it was his uncle who had nothing to do with comedy. He's like, "What are you doing? You're working like a regular job, and then you're trying to make this happen." And he's like, "Well, yeah." So he said, "Oh, that's funny that you're wearing that today.
A Chris Monty
that's
shirt.
Cool." Right. He's actually wearing a Chris Monty shirt today. So, but Chris's uncle said, "Why don't you spending 40 hours working for someone else so you can get your life together? We spend 40 hours working on this."
Yeah,
and it just hit him, and he did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I know there's a girl comic in the city. Her name is Erin. I don't know her last name offhand, but her name is Erin. She's very, very funny. I think it's Erin Jackson. She had said she studies comedy the same way a doctor would study trying to be a doctor. Sure. She goes, I spend 6-7 hours a day studying. That's what I do. I write and I study. And I went, oh yeah, I never looked at it like that either.
Yeah.
She goes, if you're trying to be a doctor, what do? You study all day. She goes, that's what I do with this. And you're like, oh, okay, all right. So, and that's why she's funny. You know what I mean? Like that's why she's funny. And it's like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. So look, there's. I don't know if there's. I didn't mean for this to be a advice column.
I didn't know. It's funny. It's interesting. No, it's great.
It's fine. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like if that's the truth. That's the truth of stand-up comedy. It's like guys don't take it serious, and I go, and no one will take them serious. So.
All right. Well, I'll lighten this up a little bit because it's Carol Miner is the one who hooked us up with you, and I wanted to thank Carol on the show here. But I wanted to ask you. I want to know how do you guys even know each other, and does it involve nudity?
No, it doesn't involve nudity. I think I met Carol. Carol came up to me after a show.
Oh, she's
you have to ask her for the details. Yeah, she came up to me after a show and she was like, "Oh, you should do." She's like, "You should do the morning show at Governor's." And I was like, "What?" I didn't even know what you. I go, "Wait, they do comedy in the morning?" I go, "What?" I didn't even know what you were talking about. I was like, "Wait, what?"
Oh, so you didn't know her? You guys weren't friends? She just went up to you at a show?
Yeah.
So
I don't remember the exact location of it, but she had said that to
She's
me.
in
She was
Texas,
like, "Oh, you gotta go."
so maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, did she? Yeah, you got to ask her the exact place. And then she said, "Oh, you got to do the morning show." And I said, "Okay, yeah." I said, "If they'll ever have me, I'm fine."
Yeah, she's from Long Island, but she lives in Texas now.
You're originally what? Syosset, is that right?
Syosset, yeah.
Yeah, she's originally Hicksville. That's how I know her. I grew up with her, so I thought maybe that that we were Hicksville's right next to Syosset. I thought maybe there was a connection there.
Did you go to Hicksville High School?
Yeah,
actually, both of us did. Yeah, and
my mother graduated from Hicksville High School.
Oh yeah, what year?
And all my uncle. Oh God.
Because Tony's mom
my whole
went
family.
there too.
Yeah, my whole
like
family.
Tony actually had to sit in class where teachers had his mother first.
Hilarious.
Oh yeah, I didn't get the why can't you be more like your brother? I got that too, but I also got why can't you be more like your mother?
Remember how
that was a
good
lot of fun.
student Ann was,
Yeah.
and then there's you.
So funny.
So that's
my mother. I don't even know what year it would be. But I have a lot of uncles. Everyone went to Hicksville High School. The last name was Schumann.
Schumann. Oh, okay.
Schumann. So I don't know if you knew him or. There's a lot of them.
I don't. I actually knew some McKennas in Hicksville, but Schumann's not.
McKenna's. We're from my dad's from Queens, and then he lived in Syosset with his brother. So probably nobody.
People are writing in that they really thought this was an interesting interview. So just letting you know.
Really good. Tell them thank you.
Absolutely, and I want to thank you. And we got your website showing up on the screen here since we couldn't FaceTime with you, but
BrianMcKenna.com. Yeah.
Go to BrianMcKenna.com. Grab the album, Brian McKenna, The Fight Is Never Over. And while you're on the website, check out the funny video with the bat. That's all I'm going to say. You got to watch this video.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was so funny.
I was hysterical. I love off-the-cuff weird shit like that, so I was laughing my ass off at that. So,
I have never experienced something. That was in Iowa. That happened in Iowa.
Yeah.
I was opening for Jim. That happened in Iowa. It was the craziest couple minutes of my life. I didn't know what was happening, and you watch it all. You watch it happen to me live.
Right, yeah. So everybody go check that out. BrianMcKenna.com. Grab the album on iTunes and everywhere, all the streaming platforms. And Brian, I want to thank you very much for your time. And I know we kept you for a little while, so thank you very much for everything.
Thanks so much.
And hopefully you're back on the stage soon, and we'll come see you. And again, thanks to your sister and everybody, and all the best to you and your fiance. And let's talk again, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you guys so much. Stay safe, all right?
All right, Brian, thanks. Bye-bye now.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
That was Brian McKenna, ladies and gentlemen. Brian McKenna, stand-up comedian. He's originally from Long Island. He's been Jim Brewer's opener for about 4 years now. Check him out, BrianMcKenna.com, and grab his album, The Fight Is Never Over. Funny guy, and that was great with him. Very nice, very generous of his time. So that was very cool. Brian McKenna. The interview was great, said Tom Glotty. Thank you, pal. Tom, are you on tomorrow? I don't think you are, right? Thank you. So there you go. So we're gonna wrap it up and say goodbye, and we hope everybody has a great weekend. Tomorrow, I do think Don. I don't think Tom's on tomorrow, but Don, I believe Don Sill put up Shut Up Stand Up. He did a great special this past Saturday. I do believe he's on again tomorrow night. Joey Cola's doing another one of his live from Joey Cola's Living Room Club. He's doing another one of those live videos tomorrow night, so be on the lookout for that. We'll share it when we get it. That's it for our weekend, right here at Govs Radio.
Yeah, I think so.
GovsRadio.com. You can catch us on Facebook, on YouTube, on our website, GovsRadio.com. We're also, the audio is on Spotify and a few different streaming platforms. Apple TV, Smart TVs, Fire Stick, Roku. If you go to the Boxcast app, that's where you will find us. Again, Don Sill tomorrow night. And everybody stay safe, stay well. I do believe it's supposed to be a nice weekend, so go in your backyard and barbecue and just try to get some sanity. I'm hoping good weather at least helps us a little bit. Sallie just wants to leave, so she's not.
He gets a little
anything.
chatty at the end.
I just want to get the announcements out and say goodbye to everybody, and hoping that the weather gets better. And I guess we got to go.